So let's see if we can figure out how to do this problem. So this is what we call a radical equation because we got a square root. So the way we're going to get rid of the square root is we are going to we're going to square, both sides of the equation. So we're going to put a square here and a square here. So now the square and the square root will cancel each other out. That's going to leave me with a 5x minus 10. Now here, there's no shortcut to doing this part, y'all. I got to write it out twice because that's what it means to square something. And so now we're going to go ahead and multiply. That's a 4x squared. That's a minus 18x. Negative 9 times 2x is another negative 18x. And negative 9 and negative 9 is a positive 81. Okay. So now I'm going to be left with a 5x minus 10 equals 4x squared. Now, negative 18 and negative 18 give me a minus 36 with an x and a plus 81. And now we're going to go ahead and minus 5x here and add 10, and minus 5x here and add 10. So we'll now have 4x squared. Let's see, minus 36 and minus 5 is a minus 41x. Plus 81 and plus 10 is a plus 91. Equals 0. Okay. And so now I'm going to do this on the next slide. So I got 4x squared minus 41x plus 91 equals 0. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to factor this thing out. So first thing I'm going to do when I'm going to factor something like this, I got to multiply 4 times 91. Oh, I don't know, it's a pretty big number. Let's see, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 9 is 36. So we got 364. Okay, so now we're going to try to look for the pair of numbers that multiply to 364, but give us a negative 41. Oh, I don't know. Let's keep playing this game here. So that 4 will go into 364. Something like 182 times. This is obviously 491. Let's see, I'm trying to break down the number 91, y'all. So 91, can I divide it by 7? Yeah. Okay, so 7 go in there too. So we would have 7 and whatever 364 divided by 7 is. So 364 divided by 7 is a 52. Okay. And let's see, we can also divide it by 13, and I'm just looking for the numbers here that are going to end up helping me out, okay? 364 divided by 13, 28. Okay, so I can probably keep going, but I'm going to stop right here because I want you to notice when I multiply these two numbers, if I make them both negative, I'm still going to get a positive 364. And if I add those numbers together, so let me grab my calculator again. What's 13 plus 28? 41. So if I make them both negative, that gives me that negative 41, right? Okay, so look, what we're going to do now, we're going to rewrite this problem. I'm going to rewrite it as 4x squared. I'm going to go ahead and use this one first. Really didn't make any difference, but I think it's going to make it a little bit easier. Minus 28x minus 13x plus 91 equals 0. Now, all I've done is I've rewritten 41 using 28 and 13. If we were to combine these two terms together, we'd end up with the same thing we had, which was 41. But the reason I want to do it this way, my grouping method says, can I factor anything out of here? Yeah, we can take out a 4x. We're left with an x minus 7. And then what about over here? If this piece is negative, I'm going to take out a negative, in this case, a 13. And I'm left with an x minus 7 equals 0. Now, if that piece and that piece match up, we're doing this right. So that's an x minus 7 and a 4x minus 13 equals 0. So now, when we set each part equal to 0, when I move that 7 over, that leaves me with a positive 7. When I move that 13 over, I get a 4x equals 13. Then I got to divide them both by 4. So I'm ending up with a 13 over 4. Okay, so now I have two answers. What I need to do is I need to check those answers. So I'm going to take this part right here, square root of 5x minus 10 equals, excuse me, it was a 2x minus 9. And now we had two answers. So let's check 7. Okay, let's see if 7 works. So everywhere I have an x, I'm going to plug in the number 7. Okay, so let's see. 5 times 7 is 35. 35 minus 10 is 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. Now on this side, 2 times 7 is 14. And 14 minus 9 is 5. So since they both are the same, x equals 7 seems to be checking out. So far, when I come back over here and I'm going to, plug my answer in, x equals 7, or the number 7 is going to be one of the answers so far. I still got to check this one. Still got to check that 13 over 4. Okay? So let's do that. So look, we have 5x minus 10 equals 2x minus 9. And now we're going to check x equals 13 over 4. All right, so let's go slow. So I'm going to think of that as 5 over 1 times 13 over 4. I'm going to think of that as 10 over 1 because I want to get common denominators in a second. So 5 times 13 is a 65 over 4. Now, if I multiply both of these by 4, that gives me 40 over 4. 65 minus 40 is 25 over 4. And now when I take the square root, well, the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, let's check the same thing over here on this side. So I'm going to think of this as a 2 over 1 times a 13 over 4. I think about that as a 9 over 1. So first off, this 2 and that 4 will reduce. That's leaving me with a 13 over 2 minus... Let me multiply both of these guys by 2. Gives me 18 over 2. And let's see, 13 minus 18 is actually a negative 5 over 2. And look at my answers here. They're not exactly the same, right? This one is positive, this one is negative. That answer does not check out. So the only answer I have is x is equal to 7, okay? We do got to check both answers, y'all, because we never really know if they're going to work out or not, okay?